Okay, so like, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago, we watched season 4, episode 16, Unrequited. We are currently like 3 episodes into season 5.
Yes.
So we are 12 episodes behind, and we'd be even worse. Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Because our kids were supposed to come home and whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Unrequited. This is about the invisible assassin. I thought this episode was fairly silly. I actually didn't like this one much at all.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought it was fine.
It's fine.
I didn't think it was anything, like, awful.
I'm really looking forward to, like, I think it's season 5 where we start to get into, like, the more ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff I really like about the X-Files, is when we get into, like, the time loop day and the Christmas Carol episode where Mulder and Scully are stuck in this, like, haunted house. And, like, that's the kind of stuff that I love. When they get it, like, when they go back in time to, like, the World War II and they get on, like, board a Nazi ship and stuff like it. That's the shit I'm, like, really looking forward to. That's the fun stuff, when they really went for it. They're still trying to be, like, somewhat grounded here.
Yes.
And even though it's not, they're trying to attempt to be a little more serious.
Yeah.
And I like when they get a little more ridiculous.
Okay.
So, anyway, we've got our invisible assassin here who, like, he can block his, like, body from being seen when you're looking directly at him. But if you're not looking, like, if you're indirectly looking at him, so if he's in your, like, peripheral vision, he can be seen. I don't really understand how any of this works, of course.
Yeah, because I feel like they kind of say something about, like, him being trained.
He gets abducted. He's like a prisoner of war.
Yeah.
And he lives with this specific group of people who, like, train to become invisible.
But I also thought that they said something about, like, the chemical...
Agent Orange or something.
Not Agent Orange, but yeah, like something along those lines that they used to, you know, in the war. So I'm not really sure how he has the ability. I don't think it's fully explained either. I don't know. I thought this episode was fine. Like, anytime I've noticed lately, especially in the X-Files, because we've had a couple episodes that were centered around, like, veterans, or soldiers, and I've noticed that I kind of start to think about Jacob's Ladder, because that's, like, the, like, veteran horror movie.
Yeah.
This has nothing at all in relation to Jacob's Ladder, of course, but anyway, I just always think of it now.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, I like that he can make himself disappear, because obviously, like, what they're saying with this is that, you know, prisoners of war that are forgotten about or left behind, and even actual, like, veterans that come back or people that die, that they do end up getting forgotten by people, because it's like there's so many of them and the government, like, does not care about the soldiers. They just are like, go do our thing, and then if you die, you die.
Yeah, I mean, in my notes, I wrote down episode as metaphor for captured soldiers being invisible.
Yeah.
Right, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
That's literally the phrase, the adage that they're satirizing here, is out of sight, out of mind. If we can't see them, then they're not our problem.
Yeah.
Which is terrible, of course.
Awful.
I mean, that's
so awful.
Without question, that's awful. We have Laurie Holden in here, who's kind of become like the new X.
Yeah, she sort of has.
The show. And we find out later on that she's working for the Smoking Man, as was X. So yeah, she's kind of taken up that role. She's definitely the best looking of the 3 between Deep Throat, X, and her character, but doesn't make her any less evil. Our killer here leaves a death card, much like the Joker leaves his. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have a lot to say about this one. It's just kind of very straightforward. We start at the end and we work our way up, which I hate that style.
Yeah, I know you do.
And they replay way too much of the opening again. Where, like, Scully and them are, like, in the crowd, and then Mulder sees them, and this and that. They, like, replay. It's like the whole first 5 minutes of the episode, and then they replace maybe 3.5 minutes of it again. And I'm like, that's a little, like, kind of cheat. I'm like, we have to fill a 42-minute time slot.
Yeah,
Let's just
it is.
replay the first 5 minutes again in the episode.
I agree. Yeah, I think they should have just cut to the... But whatever. Yeah, I think, the ending is pretty sad. He gets shot, and
in the
he's,
car,
like, repeating his name and station and stuff, like, which I guess...
Don't forget me.
Yeah, like, don't forget me, and, yeah, it's sad. That's sad. All of that stuff, I think, is really sad with the episode. But I don't think anything... There's not a whole lot... You're right, like, there really isn't a whole lot to talk about. It's a pretty straightforward, like, episode as far as these, like, monster of the weeks go.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's
it.
that, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. There's not really much to say about this one. So, we'll see you in the next one.